Hello, I'm Chloe Menage, and Jill Wiseman's invited me along again today to share with you another great free project. Today I'm going to show you how to make these super cute brick stitch Valentine heart earrings. They're a statement earring that go great with any outfit and are perfect for Valentine's Day and all year round. All you need to do to make these is a little bit of brick stitch, which I'm going to walk you through step by step, and some Delica beads, and then either fire polish or crystal beads of your choice, and some findings to finish. All of the supplies to make this project can be found over at Jill Wiseman Designs, and I can't wait to see what you make with them. Shall we get started? So to make these lovely earrings, we are going to be using brick stitch and Miyuki Delica beads. They're a really versatile project because you can really mix them up. You don't have to create all of the hearts, you could just create a couple of them. So if you're brand new to beading, you might like to start with these small ones. And you can make the larger ones. You could wear them just on their own as a single heart, or use them as a pendant or a scissor charm or whatever you fancy really. So this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to walk you step by step through brick stitch, so if you've never done it before, then we can master it together today. So to get started, you're going to need some Miyuki Delica beads. I'm working in size 11s, and I've got 5 different colours. I've got some white as well, which I haven't put out. But you can use 4 beads, 4 colours, or even more than that. It's entirely up to you. And you just need a pinch of each. If you've got the chart in the PDF, which you can download from jillwisemandesigns.com, it gives you all of the quantities that you need there, along with the chart that we're going to be following. So the chart looks something a little bit like this. And I'll show you how to follow a chart if you've never used one before. But first of all, let's have a go at doing brick stitch. Now, I always like to start brick stitch using ladder stitch. There's a couple of different methods for this, but this is the one I prefer to use. So what you do is you start with these edge beads. So you can see here, they've got an outline around each of the hearts. We're going to be starting here and working our way along this first row. So let's make a small one to start off with. They're a bit easier to start with. So I'm going to start with the ladder stitching the first beads that I need to start my brick stitch. So I'm picking up 2 beads and I'm going to ladder stitch those together. Before you start, you always want to wax your thread really well, and that's going to help create a nice stiff piece of brick stitch. And you want to make sure you've just working with a comfortable length of thread, nothing too long and nothing too short. So what I've done is I've picked up 2 beads and I've gone back through the first bead and I'm going to pull that snug. And you can see how those beads sit together. I'll show you that one more time as well. So we're going to pick up 2 beads and I'm going to go back through both of those beads. Pull that snug. Now, if you find that they're slipping around a bit, what you can do, and I do like to do this, is just reinforce that these first 2 again, just to make them sure they sit really nice and snug. And you can see they're fiddling around a little bit, but you can just poke them into position with your finger and make sure you're coming through that second bead to start your next one. So we've got those first 2 beads of ladder stitch, and I'm going to add an, so we're doing the small heart. So my first row for the small hearts is just 2 beads wide, but if you needed more for your first row, for example, with this bigger heart, you would just keep doing that until you had, so you're adding 1 each time. I can show you how to do that. Just adding 1 each time until you've got the desired amount for your first row of brick stitch. And you always want to pass through the newest bead again and exit from that one. Use your finger and thumb to tug them into position. So you just keep going until you've got the first row of your ladder stitch ready to start the next one. So for the second row of brick stitch, we're always going to start by picking up 2 beads. So as my heart has, for this particular one, has 2 beads in the first row, I'm following the chart here and I'm going to be picking up the next beads for my second row. So that is one of the metallic and one of the plain. And I'm going under the thread path or the thread bridge. So this is a little bit different to other bead stitches around. You are threading under the thread path and back through the bead rather than passing through the beads. So I've gone under that thread path and I'm going to needle back through that second bead that I picked up, and I'm passing back towards the first bead. Pull that nice and snug, and that should sit nice and neatly. If it doesn't, don't worry, just pull it tightly, and then when you do the next row, it will pull that into place. So my third bead, and it's the final bead in the row because this is a very short row, I've picked up a new bead following the chart again, and I'm doing an increase for this row, so that means I'm going to go under that same thread path again, so that's going to have 2 beads attached to the same thread path. Well, in theory, in reality it's got 3 for this one. So I'm going back through that bead, and this is basically brick stitch. So there we go. If it doesn't sit tight, I like to hold it between my thumb and finger, give that thread a good tug, and that will pull it into position. So for the next row, I'm picking up the first 2 beads needed. Now this one is an increase on both ends, and I know that because I'm following my chart. I'm going to pop under that thread path or the thread bridge. I referred to it as a thread bridge in the instructions, and back through that second bead. So you can see we're working back the other way now. Pull that nice and snug, and then carry on. So this row has 2 of the central beads. So I'm going under the next thread path now. Pull that through. Oh, I've lost my needle. Keep doing that today. So I've gone under that thread bridge. I'm going to go back through that bead, pull that nice and snug, and again for an increase I'm picking up one and going under that next one. So there's 2 beads attached to that final one, and that is my increase. So you'll see in the chart that sometimes you need to do a decrease, and the way we do that is very similar. So to decrease at the beginning of a row, we're going to pick up the 2 beads that we need to start our row, but instead of going under that first thread path, we're going to go under this second thread path here, and then back through that second bead, and that's going to pull those beads into a decrease. And you may find that your beads don't sit quite right, but don't worry. What happens is when you come to do the next row, it pulls that first bead into position. If it doesn't, then what you can do is weave back through later and just tidy it up. But keeping a nice tight tension is really the best way to keep those in place. So this row for my heart here has got an increase at the beginning, and a decrease at the beginning and an increase at the end. So I'm just going to carry on adding my beads on here. If you needed to decrease at the end, then what you do is you're just going to decrease at the end, you're just going to not add a second bead to that last thread path. So let me show you how that's looking so far, and you can see how our heart is beginning to come together. So you're just going to keep going on with that brick stitch, following the charts, and that's how you create your hearts. So let's have a look at the charts. So what you've got here, each of the beads is labelled A to E, and that tells you which colour that you need to pick up according to the key. Now obviously you're going to change this if you're using different colour beads, you just need to assign a different letter to each one. The stars show you where I suggest you start. With brick stitch, you can either start at the edge row. Personally, that's what I prefer to do on a smaller piece of work like this. I like to start from left and work my way across to right. To me, that feels logical. You can also start at the widest point, which would be the central point, and many people may find that easier. But personally, I like the logic of working from one side to the other. Each column is the new row of beadwork, and you're going to be working outwards and across. So in reality, if you were looking at it as rows, this would be row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. But it's because of the heart shape and it's brick stitch, we can rotate it and have it this way. So you can see how that corresponds. What you might like to do is have a little metallic board with a ruler or some sticky tape that you can just move to help keep your place and mark your place in the pattern. And obviously you can rotate it if that's better for you. So that's how you follow the chart. Each of these is a bead, and you're just going to pick it up as you go. So at the beginning of the row, we're always picking up 2. You're going to pick up a C and a D to start row 2 there, and then just carry on. So you can see we've got increases all the way down here, and then we've got a bit of both here. We're going up as an increase, then we've got a decrease, another increase, and then down to a decrease. This side is where it gets a little bit trickier because you're adding the pattern and you've got more colours. So just take it slow as you do that row and pay attention to which bead you're supposed to be picking up. And as the pattern starts to develop, it makes it much easier to see what bead you are supposed to be adding and where. Once you've finished your hearts, you're going to make 2 of each to make a set of earrings. Obviously, you don't have to make yours exactly the same as mine. You can get creative with playing with your the way that you do them. So I didn't mention at the beginning what about the beads and the extra findings that you're going to need to put these together. So you're going to need the Delicas to do the hearts, but to turn it into a complete pair of earrings, you're going to need either some 3mm and 4mm fire polish or some bicone crystals. I've been experimenting with both of them here. So these are the Rose AB2 times, they've got loads of sparkle, and I'm just using 4mm. But here I use 3mm fire polish and 4mm. So I've got 4mm here and 2 3mm at the top to kind of gradient it down, and I really liked how that goes. And so let me show you how we join our earrings together. So to attach the hearts together, we're going to be using these central points. So we're going to weave through the work until we get to the central bead on the top of a heart. And we're going to be joining it from the central point on the top to the central point on the bottom. So for this one, I'm exiting from that central bead. I'm going to pick up one of my sparkly bicone beads, and I'm going to pass into that central point on the next size heart. And then holding that carefully, I'm going to go back through that bicone and into that central bead again, but from the opposite side. So the side that you came out of, you're going to go in to the opposite side and pull that nice and snug. Arrange it between your fingers, make sure that you've not pulled it too tightly that it sits wonkily. And we're going to just reinforce that by passing through that figure of 8 shape again. Again, making sure it's not folding round or behaving strangely. You want to make sure that it still looks good when it's held up. I've lost my needle. So just back through that crystal. And I'm using the working thread from the heart to do this. And you can weave in your tail threads before you start this point, and just use your working thread to do this part. So I'm just going to reinforce that once, but you can do it twice as well if you want to, just to be safe. So now I can weave in this tail thread, this working thread, and trim that off, and that side is done. So to create the top part and to attach it to the ear wire, you want to weave in this tail thread, get it out of your way. So to attach the top part to the ear wire, we've woven in our tail thread, coming out of that central bead again. This time again picking up a crystal, and I'm going to go through my wire guard as well. So I'm going to go through that side and down and into the crystal, and then again into that central bead from the opposite side. Pull that kind of snug, make sure that that thread is sitting in the channel of the wire guard. And what you might like to do, depending on how your wire guard is, I like to just squeeze them in at the end slightly, just very gently, and that helps with creating that nice shape. Otherwise they can sit very wide. So I'm going to reinforce that a few times because obviously this is the top of our earring, and you want that to be nice and snug but not causing any kind of weird shapes to happen there. So you want it to be all nice and even and snug but not overly tight. Once you've reinforced that a couple of times, then you can weave that in and trim your threads, and then your earrings are ready to wear, apart from one more thing we need to do. We need to attach our ear wire, and you're going to do that just with some chain nose pliers and an ear wire, and you're going to use your chain nose pliers to just gently twist open that ear wire. And remember, we always twist, we don't pull, so that it goes back to where it needs to be. You're going to pop that on there. Obviously your threads are all going to be nicely trimmed at this point, and just close that down, and then your earrings are most definitely ready to wear. I really can't wait to see the different variations that you come up with for this. Please do share them in the Jill Wiseman Designs Facebook group. I'd love to see all the different options that you come up with and the different colours. You can play with wild variations, they don't have to be all pink. We could do some blurples, you could do some really wild colours, or maybe really classic and black, white and gold perhaps. There's loads of different variations that you could do for this project. And as I said at the beginning, they don't have to be statement earrings. You could make a pendant, small charms, dainty earrings. Really, the world is your beading oyster with this one. Stay tuned for more great videos for Jill Wiseman Designs, and don't forget you can shop for all of the supplies for everything you've seen today over at jillwisemandesigns.com. See you again soon!